Okay, we like to call this the trade story. And the trade story starts with the hairdresser. So it's the end of the year, and the hairdresser needs to get her books done. So she goes to an accountant and says, "Hey, can you take a look at my books and tell me how much it'll be?" The accountant says, "Sure." He takes a look at the books and says, "It's going to be $1,200." Hairdresser hems and haws a little bit. She doesn't really want to spend $1,200 on accounting. So she says, "Okay, would you be interested in trading for it?" The accountant says, "Well, yeah, I'm open to trade if you're willing to wait a little longer and I can fit you into my downtime on Thursday. How much are your haircuts?" So the hairdresser says $20. Okay, so $20, $1,200. Well, that's 60 haircuts. Okay, I get my haircut 4 times a year. So 60 haircuts 4 times a year, that's 15 years of haircuts. By then I'll be bald or you'll be out of business. And so the trade doesn't work. So the hairdresser's pretty bummed out. She doesn't really know what she's going to do. But the accountant says, "Hold on, I think we can make this work. I know this company called Trade Exchange Canada. Let's get them to facilitate the trade for us." So Trade Exchange Canada has over 2,000 members, and the first thing they're going to do is lend 1,200 trade dollars to the hairdresser. Now, one trade dollar is equal to one Canadian dollar. So now with 1,200 trade dollars in her account, the hairdresser transfers that 1,200 trade dollars in exchange for the bookkeeping to the accountant. And now the accountant has 1,200 trade dollars available to spend. But instead of trading directly for those 60 haircuts that he doesn't need, he's going to tap into the trade exchange, into those 2,000 members, and he's going to spend his trade dollars on things he normally would pay cash for. Things like web design, SEO, vehicle maintenance, Pizza Fridays, signage. He's going to pay for those things by filling up the empty time on Thursday he otherwise wouldn't have been able to fill. Okay, so let's take a look back at the hairdresser for a second. So the trade exchange has lent the hairdresser 1,200 trade dollars. So now the hairdresser owes $1,200 worth of trade to the exchange. So the first thing that happens is the hairdresser and the exchange sit down and take a look at the hairdresser's schedule. So like most businesses, she's got some time when she's busy, and she's got some time when she's not so busy. So the trade exchange coordinates with the hairdresser to fill those empty spots with trade, making sure that we're not taking away from any cash business. So once that's all settled, the trade exchange then promotes the hairdresser to its 2,000 plus members. And it does so by using daily emails, app pushes, weekly newsletters, and service phone calls. And the trade exchange starts to fill that hairdresser's empty schedule with its members. So the accountant goes on Wednesday morning, the lawyer on Monday, the mechanic on Thursday, and the pipe fitter on Monday afternoon. And so trade exchange members fill up those empty chairs by paying with some of their trade dollars. So what's happened here? The hairdresser has filled her otherwise empty chairs and paid for $1,200 worth of accounting with 60 haircuts. The accountant has filled his empty time on Thursday afternoon, where he would have been sitting in his office anyways, and he's gotten $1,200 worth of web design, SEO, vehicle maintenance, pizza, and signage. On top of that, the hairdresser now has a bunch of new customers. New customers that, if she does a good job, will likely refer her new cash customers. The accountant, well, he's been introduced to a web designer, an SEO company, a pizza company, and a sign company. Companies that could become regular clients of his. Companies that could refer him new clients. Companies that he could pay to refer him new clients. So not only are we doing trade, we're benefiting from referral marketing. And we all know the power of referral marketing. So before we said when the hairdresser tried to go to the accountant and do a one-to-one trade, it just didn't work because the accountant didn't want or need 60 haircuts. And even if he did the trade, he definitely won't need another 60 haircuts next year. And so the hairdresser would have to find a whole new accountant next year willing to trade for 60 haircuts. Or they'd be forced to do a cash deal. So to really demonstrate the power of trade in monetary terms, let's quickly compare paying with cash with paying in trade. So the hairdresser needs to provide 60 haircuts. So if I walk into that hair salon, the heat's already on, the power's already on, the hairdresser's already there, the tax is already paid, the Yellow Pages ad is already paid. So what is the new and incremental cost to do a haircut? We could say, if they wash my hair, the cost of shampoo, the cost of washing a towel, the cost of sharpening the scissors, and maybe a couple other things. So we could say that new and incremental cost might be $2, $3. But let's be conservative. Let's say it's $6. So 60 haircuts at $6 each. That's $360. So the question becomes, do you want to pay $360 for $1,200 worth of accounting with new business and potentially gain some referrals? Or do you want to pay $1,200 for $1,200 of accounting out of your existing business and get no new customers and no chance of any referrals? $360 out of new business or $1,200 out of existing business. But let's take it one step further, just to show you the impact of using trade and utilizing excess capacity. So let's say the hairdresser and the accountant decide they're going to do a cash deal. So the accountant finishes the book, says, your books are ready. Hairdresser says, okay. So the hairdresser takes a look in the till, and there's $1,800 in there. Now, to make $1,800, she had to have done 90 haircuts, because earlier we said she charges $20 a haircut. The cost of those 90 haircuts is $540, because earlier we said that cost would maybe be $6 a haircut. So she's left with $1,260. So if she has to pay $1,200 in cash for the accounting, she's left with only $60. So out of that $1,800, $1,740 has been eaten up. So the question is, do you want to pay $1,740 in cash out of your existing business, or do you want to spend $360 out of new business? Do you want to have empty chairs, bringing in no value, or do you want them to be full with new customers that will generate referrals and bring you new cash business?